Hello everyone, so for today's review I have for you guys a brand new for 2021 20-foot Reindeer Christmas inflatable. This particular inflatable is going to be sold at home for $189. I picked this up a few days ago from the At Home store. They had this one obviously and the store display, so this will be on display if anyone wants to see what it looks like in person. It should be on display at your local At Home store. They're going to have a few 20-footers at Home this year, more than last year. They're going to have the 20-foot Reindeer, obviously, the 20-foot Nutcracker, the 20-foot Snowman, and finally the 20-foot Santa. When I first heard about this inflatable, I honestly thought it would be on two legs. Gemmy has made two-legged reindeers in the past, standing upright, and I honestly thought that would have been the case here. But I'm glad it's not. That would have been terrible. So I'm glad they made a decision to go with four legs as a regular, ordinary reindeer. And this is one of the biggest inflatables Gemmy's made. It's the biggest 20-footer for sure in terms of, obviously, height and length or width. Definitely the biggest 20-footer inflatable in that regard. Here's how it looks compared to an average person. You can see just how massive it really is. I do wish the head was tilted down a little bit so people could see a little bit more. Here's a look at the box. I was honestly hoping to see a 20-foot Rudolph at Home this year. Maybe that would have been like $250. Because they're going to have a pretty large Rudolph at Home Depot, I guess Gemmy did not want to do that this year or something like that. But I would like to see a 20-foot Rudolph inflatable from Gemmy and maybe Clarice. That would be really nice. You can see how they take the box here, different types of ways that they keep taping these boxes, but it is easier to open, so I guess that's why they did it like this, instead of doing it obviously down the middle of the box. I was hoping to see a 20-foot Halloween inflatable at Home this year. Maybe next year they'll finally come out with a 20-foot Halloween inflatable at Home, maybe like a Grim Reaper or something like that. Here's a look at the stakes. Looks like Gemmy either messed up or something happened. These are not the right stakes for this box. Because this is obviously a Colossal inflatable, it needs to have those Colossal tethers. These simply will not work with this inflatable. The stakes are going to be used on this inflatable, though, those twisty stakes. I'm going to use those. So at least they provided that, but looks like Gemmy messed up in that regard, putting the wrong types of stakes and tethers, unfortunately, that's inflatable. It is a shame. Hopefully that's not the case for all these 20-foot reindeers, because if you don't have those tethers, these 20-foot inflatables are really a hassle to keep down in the winds. You really need even more than those tethers that Gemmy provides. Usually with the Colossal inflatables, you need almost 4 on each tether. That's what I usually do, especially for the 20-foot Nutcracker. Alright, so here it is inflated. It looks really good inflated. I'm really liking the antlers on this particular inflatable. It does almost look like a doe instead of obviously a buck, which is pretty interesting. It looks like the eyes have eyelashes on them, almost like a doe reindeer from Gemmy, as I've seen in the past, like Clarice or something like that. But other than that, I do really like the design of the face. Here's a tether loop attachments there. These do look like they're stitched better than the ordinary attachments for the tethers. So that's pretty good to see. I'm glad Gemmy didn't cheap out there. And once you have it anchored down, it should stay up pretty well in the wind. You just don't want to have this up really if it's above 10 miles an hour. I've had the 20-foot inflatables or even 16 feet and above even lift off the ground, and even 12 to 15 mile per hour winds. Even with landscaping stakes and specialty stakes I buy online and in stores at Home Depot and Lowe's and whatnot, they do tend to come out of the ground even if it's above 12 to 15 miles per hour. So you really got to watch out. You don't want to keep these particular inflatables up in high winds. It can become problematic. This inflatable apparently only has one zipper. I couldn't find any others on this inflatable if anybody was wondering about that. See how the base is designed there. It's like almost like a, I don't know, pillow design. It does inflate pretty tightly. It's a YF-125, for anyone wondering about that. I was hoping this would have had a YF-200 instead of a YF-125. But at least it doesn't have anything less than that motor. If it had anything less, it would probably inflate a lot worse than what it does. It inflates pretty quickly and stands upright on its own, which is nice to see. And I'm glad about that. You can see there's no really any details on the back of the inflatable. I wish this had the fuzzy plush material that was on the Reindeer from Home Depot last year. That Reindeer is also going to be sold at Home Depot again this year. That would have been really nice to see if it had some fur-like material on it. That would have been awesome, but for the price, I guess they did not want to do that, and that would have weighed it down a little bit, so that might have been one of the reasons. I do wish it was tilted down. The head was tilted down a little bit. You got to be standing pretty far back to even see its face. But I do really like the antlers. I think it's just a really imposing inflatable in general. If you want something that will really get the attention of people driving by or your neighbors or anything like that, this would be the inflatable to get. All right, so here it is at night. See, the C7s do a great job illuminating it. I do wish it had a few more C7s, at least 2 additional ones in the 2 front feet. That would have been, I think, just great and really made it easier to see at night. But as I have it now, since it is obviously a light color inflatable, it does illuminate pretty well. You can clearly make out that it's a deer, even from pretty far away. Which just had a blinking nose, even though it isn't Rudolph. I think that would have been something cool Jimmy could have added. And for anyone wondering, all these 20-foot inflatables are the same price at home this year. They're all $189, which is a really good price, I think. I think if these were at like Lowe's, it would at least be $250, maybe even $300 for a 20-foot inflatable to be below $200 is really a great price. And for Black Friday, if they have any left, they probably will be on sale because that's what they were last year. This is the best Colossal non-licensed inflatable this year, I think. I think it's better than even the Nutcracker from last year. And if you really want this, I would pick it up as soon as you can. My location only put out a couple of these. And just for anyone wondering, I believe At Home does not ship yet. They do offer in-store pickup, but if you do not live by an At Home store, they unfortunately do not ship. I have heard that At Home might eventually start shipping to people's houses across the United States of America, so hopefully that changes in the near future, and keep an eye on that if you're interested in buying anything from At Home. It does seem like there's about 4 C7s in the head and neck area, and the rest are clustered in the body like the At Home cat from this year. But at least, like I said earlier, this is obviously a light tan fabric material, so it illuminates most of the body pretty well. Alright, so like most of Gemmy inflatables, the tallest portion of the inflatable is usually like a hat, or in this case, antlers. And the antlers in this case are about almost 7 feet tall. And I honestly thought they were about 10 feet when I first saw it, especially in daytime. They are really imposing. I'm surprised with how good this inflates with the YF-125. I honestly thought this size of inflatable should have a YF-200, but it does inflate really well. And it inflates about the same time as a Nutcracker, since they obviously have the same motor. And it takes a lot less time to inflate than, for example, the Santa, since that obviously does not have YF-125. Gemmy also put Holly on the harness of the Reindeer. It's made with that felt green material also, so it does look pretty nice. I'm wondering what other 20-foot non-licensed Colossal inflatables Gemmy might come out with. I'm thinking they might come out with a tree next year, maybe a polar bear, a penguin, or an elf. I think that would be great. But for this year, I think this is the best non-licensed Colossal inflatable for 2021. I highly recommend picking this one up. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you next time.